children, how are you? I hope you all are doing well and studying well. So children, we are talking about the different systems which are present inside our body, okay, which helps this machine to work well. So we've already seen the skeletal system. Now we are going to talk about the nervous system, okay. We are going to talk about our nervous system. So we are going to learn about working of the nervous system, importance of brain, spinal cord, functions of the parts of the brain, and we are going to talk about how to take care of our sense organs, okay. So as we know that there are many organs that do a lot of work, okay, inside our body. So each organ has to do its job properly and on time, because everything is connected. Even while I am talking, all my body movements, my body organs are doing their work, their job, okay, in a timely manner, and that is the reason why all the responses are coming, all the things, all the thoughts are coming to my mind, and I am able to speak, okay. So the nervous system, it controls all these organs of our body, okay. This is all controlled by the nervous system. Now this system controls and coordinates the other functions of the body. So let's talk about what is a nervous system first. To receive or detect the information from the environment, okay. So nervous system helps us to receive, okay, and detect the information from the environment, and this is done by our sense organs, okay. We know that we have 5 sense organs, so we'll talk about them in detail later, okay. Then nervous system, okay, it helps to act accordingly through muscles or glands, okay, through glands and muscles, okay, it helps us to act accordingly. Nervous system controls the involuntary functions such as heartbeat and respiration, okay. These are involuntary functions, these are not in our control, they are happening automatically by the heart or by the lungs, okay. And how is it controlled? It is controlled by the nervous system, okay. Now let's talk about the sense organ, but before we talk about that, let's know what comes under the nervous system, mainly the brain and the spinal cord, okay. Now what are the different sense organs that we have? We have 5 sense organs, okay. Now these are the organs that are the gateways to the world. They connect us to the outside world, okay. The 5 sense organs: ear, it helps to hear, to balance the body; nose to smell; tongue to taste; skin to feel, touch, okay, pain, heat, okay; eye to see. Okay, let's start with the eyes. What are they made up of? Okay, the eyes, okay, or our eyes are the most important sense organs. Each eyeball fits into the socket in the skull. Okay, so each eyeball fits into a socket. We've already seen the diagram of the skull, okay, and they have sockets, eye holes, okay. So these eyeballs, they are fixed inside the eye sockets. The eyelashes and eyelids, they help to keep dirt and dust out of our eyes. The colored circle in the eye is called the iris, and the black spot in the center of the iris is called pupil. Light enters the eye through the pupil. So the black dot which is there, okay, at the center of the eye, that is where, okay, the light enters, okay, the eye through the pupil. The lens, they form the image on the retina. From here, optic nerve picks up signals and takes it to the brain. So this nerve, that optic nerve, is responsible for taking the signals to the brain, which interpret what is seen. So the brain interprets what we are seeing, okay. In the front portion of the eye, cornea is present, which is circular and transparent. So you can see the diagram of the eye and you will come to know where all what is situated, okay. You know where the pupil is situated, where is iris, okay, the cornea, the lens, the optic nerve and the retina. Okay. Now, how should you take care of your eyes? We should take care of our eyes, okay, by following these basic rules. There are certain basic rules that need to be followed. Like you have to wash your eyes regularly with clean water, okay. Just simple clean water will help you to clean your eyes and get rid of the dust that is stuck in your eyes. Do not read in a moving vehicle, okay. It will affect your eyes. Never rub your eyes with dirty hands or dirty cloth. This can cause infection, okay. If you are not able to read from the blackboard, tell your teacher or parent. They can get your eyes tested. If you have specs, they can get the specs for the correct number which is there, okay. Don't use screen for a longer duration. It strains your eyes, okay. Don't lie down while reading. A correct posture should be maintained, okay. You have to be in the right position while you are reading, okay. Avoid too bright or too dim light. The light should not fall on your eyes directly, okay. So, sometimes when we are when you are going in the vehicle with your dad or mother, when you are driving, you are going in the car, if suddenly a car comes from the other side with a heavy, high light, okay, light over high beam, don't you just close your eyes immediately? Doesn't it hurt your eyes? It does, okay. Similarly, when the light is less in a particular area, don't you strain your eyes to see properly? Yes, you do. Sometimes when it is dark, okay, and you wake up in the night and it is dark around you, you try to, feel the things, or you try to strain your eyes to, find the switches at least, isn't it? So, that's when too less light or too much of light can affect our eyes, and we may have to put strain on them, okay, which is not good for them. Now, activity. You are playing outside on a bright and sunny day. Suddenly, your mother calls you and asks you to bring your grandfather's spectacles from the room. What happens when you enter the room? Can you see clearly in the room? Perhaps no. You take a minute or two to see things clearly. This is because your pupils constricted in the bright sunlight. They took time to adjust and come back to their normal size inside the room. So, when you are playing outside in bright sunlight and you enter the room, your eyes take time to adapt, okay, from the brightness to the normal room light, okay. That's why the vision took a longer time to set itself, okay. Now, the ears. Let's talk about the ears. The part of the ear that we see is the outer ear. What is seen by us is the outer ear. You can refer to this diagram, okay. It collects the sound waves. The ears collect the sound waves, then pass them to the eardrum in the middle ear, okay. From the eardrum, the sound waves are sent to the inner ear. These waves are converted into electrical signals by the nerves and sent to the brain. The brain interprets the messages and we are able to listen, okay. So, this is the internal structure of the ear. So, you have the outer ear flap, then you have the ear canal, okay. That is the cavity through which the sound goes inside, okay, the ear canal, okay. Then you have the cartilage there, the ear bones are there, and the eardrum is there, okay. Now, how do you take care of your ears? Proper care of ears should be done. You must never use any sharp or pointed object to clean your ears, okay. This can injure the eardrum. Do not allow water to enter your ear. Dry your ears with clean towel. Immediately consult a doctor if you feel pain in the ear. Apart from that, children, do you know that our ears, okay, they help us to maintain the equilibrium or the balance of our body, okay. The way we stand, the way we sit, the balance, whatever the balance of the body is maintained through our ears, okay. Now, let's talk about the nose. In the upper part of our nose, there are endings of nerves which are sensitive to smell. The sense of taste and the sense of smell, they are linked. When we have a blocked nose, no air reaches the nerve endings and we cannot smell. Okay? So, generally, whenever you get a plate of food in front of you, okay, what comes first? The aroma. Okay? We see the food aroma comes, and then we taste the food, and then we relish the food, isn't it? So, what is more important here? The importance of the taste buds is there. The importance of smell has come here. Okay, your nose is playing a major role here. So, if you see something which is not smelling good, okay, you have a plate full in front of you, and but the smell is not coming good, would you even attempt to taste it? No. You just say that, no, I think the food is spoiled. How did you realize that the food is spoiled? Look wise, it's looking normal, but the smell is what tells you that the food is rotten, and that is the reason why you don't even attempt to taste it, isn't it? So, now, how should you take care of the nose? Always blow your nose gently, okay, to clean your nostrils. Do not prick your nose. The nose hair traps the dust particles present in the air. So, it is suggested to always breathe through nose. Inhale steam to clear a blocked nose. Okay? So, when our nose is blocked, we feel very restless. So, in order to release that blocked nose, we need to take steam. Steam helps in the releasing of the blocked nose. Okay? Now, and opening up of the nose. Okay? Now, the tongue. The tongue helps us to talk. So, remember, when you are talking also, your tongue is moving along with it. Okay? So, the tongue helps to talk, it helps to taste and to swallow the food. The surface of the tongue has tiny bumps which are called the taste buds. The nerve endings in the taste buds detect 4 types of taste. Okay? So, these taste buds, they can detect 4 different types of taste. Okay? And they are located on different areas of the tongue. Okay? So, which are the different tastes that it can tell us? They can tell us about the sweet taste, sour, salty and bitter. Okay? So, the food can either be sweet, sour, bitter or salty, and these are the different taste buds that help us to detect it. Okay. Now, how should you take care of your tongue? Don't eat very hot things. This can cause damage to our taste buds. So, sometimes when you sip a hot, when you are having milk, and if it is really hot and you sip it, you feel that it's burnt your tongue. So, always have things that are meant at a room temperature or a temperature that you can, your taste buds can accept. Otherwise, they will get damaged. Now, the skin. Okay, the skin is the outermost covering of our body which protects the internal organs. So, all the internal organs are covered inside the skin. Okay, they are all inside us, and the skeleton, the framework, it protects it, and on that comes our skin. Okay. So, skin, it contains nerve endings which detect sensation of touch, pain, heat and cold. Now, the pores of the surface of the skin, they allow some body waste to come out as sweat. Okay. So, there are pores on the surface of the skin out of which the sweat comes out. Now, how should you take care of your skin? Soap and water should be used to remove dirt and sweat from the skin. Always wear clean, comfortable clothes, and choice of clothes should be according to the season. Okay. A scratch or cut on the skin should be treated with an antiseptic lotion to prevent infection. Dry yourself thoroughly after bathing. Okay. Now that we know about the different sense organs, let's talk about our nervous system, how it works. Now, what is in the nervous system? The nervous system consists of the brain, spinal cords and the nerves. Okay. So, let's talk about the brain first. Brain is the main controlling center of the body. Okay. That is the area which controls the entire body. Brain controls our body. It is protected by the skull. It contains of millions of tiny cells and it weighs around 1.4 kg. To prevent it from jerks and injuries, the gap between the skull and the brain, okay, and inner side of the brain is filled with a clear liquid. Okay. So, there are three parts of the brain: cerebrum, cerebellum and medulla or medulla oblongata. Okay. Now, what is a cerebrum? Cerebrum is the largest part of the brain. Okay. Its surface has many folds and grooves. Have you ever seen a walnut? Okay. That's how your brain looks. Okay. When you crack the walnut, okay, when you crack the nut, okay, the walnut that comes out, that's how your brain looks. Okay. So, its surface has many folds and grooves. There are many folds and grooves on it. So, what are the functions of cerebrum? What is it that the cerebrum does? Okay. It is the main thinking part. Okay. That is where our thinking starts. Okay. Our thinking processes. Okay. And we are able to deliver. It stores information. Okay. It's like our storage area. It stores a lot of information. It receives sensory impulses from sense organs like ears, tongues, etc. It controls the voluntary movements. It is the center of intelligence. We can think, we can learn, feel, hunger, remember, okay, and recall because of cerebrum. Then comes the cerebellum. Okay, below the cerebrum is the cerebellum. Okay, it coordinates the movement of maintaining posture and balance of the body. So, that's where the movement of the body is taken care of. Okay. If the cerebellum does not function properly, our body movements will become jerky. Okay. Now, next comes the medulla. The medulla is shaped like a stem. Okay. So, if you look at the diagram, you will see that it looks like a stem. It connects the brain to the spinal cord. That's where the connection happens, okay, to the rest of the body. It controls all the involuntary movements of our body like the breathing, heartbeat, blood pressure, formation of saliva on seeing the favorite food items, etc. It is active even when the person is sleeping. Okay. So, this is also known as medulla oblongata. Okay. Now, the spinal cord. What is the spinal cord? It extends from the base of the brain to the lower end of the backbone. It is covered by 33 vertebrae of vertebral column. It connects the rest of the body to the brain through nerves. All the reflex actions are controlled by the spinal cord. Okay. What are reflex action? So, if you touch something which is really hot, immediately you touch it and you move your hand. What is that? That's a reflex action. If someone is throwing a ball or something towards you, you immediately try to duck or dodge it. What is it? That's a reflex action. Okay. So, the sudden, spontaneous and involuntary response, okay, controlled by spinal cord is called, it's called reflex action. So, when we touch a hot object, as I said, the hand moves away suddenly. What is this? A reflex action. Okay. Now, if for example, if you look at this diagram, okay, you see that hot object is there. So, a candle is there. Okay, you are trying to touch it with your finger. The sensory nerves, okay, get activated. The muscles, the spinal cord, motor nerve, all these nerves are all connected to each other, and that's when your action of getting your finger away from the candle or the hot object comes. Okay. Now, what are the nerves? Nerves, those nerves are made of nerve cells. They are made up of nerve cells and they carry the message to the brain from body parts. So, from the different body parts, the message to the brain and vice versa. Okay. That is from the brain to the body parts is carried out by the nerves. Now, what are the different types of nerves? There are three types of nerves. Sensory nerves. These nerves bring messages from the sense organs to the brain or spinal cord. Motor nerves, these nerves send signals from the brain or the spinal cord to the muscles or glands. Then you have mixed nerves. These nerves, they carry messages to the brain as well as bring orders from the brain. Okay. So, these are all the different types of nerves that play a very important role in carrying the messages to and from the brain. Okay. Now, let us revise, okay, and see how much we followed. Okay. We get information about our environment through the sense organs, and these sense organs are eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. The nervous system, it consists of what? Brain, spinal cord and nerves. What is the brain consisting of? It consists of the cerebrum, cerebellum and medulla. And the three kinds of nerve cells are sensory, motor and mixed nerves. Reflex actions are automatic, sudden responses. They are controlled by the spinal cord. Okay? Now, let us do the exercises. Tick the correct option. Reflex action is controlled by brain, spinal cord, cerebrum or medulla. It is controlled by the spinal cord. Which system carries and brings messages to and from the brain? Excretory, respiratory, nervous or reproductive? It is the nervous system. The largest part of the brain, medulla, cerebrum, skin or cerebellum, it is the cerebrum. When we happen to touch a hot object, the sensory nerve immediately passes a message to the spinal cord. The nerves which bring message from sense organ to brain are sensory nerve, motor nerve, mixed nerve or connecting nerve. So, they bring the message from sense organ to brain. They are the sensory nerves. Okay? Now, the largest part of the brain is, fill in the blanks, it is cerebrum. Moving hand away from the hot pan is a reflex action. The dash is the control center of the human body. What is the control center? It is the brain. Dash connects the brain to the spinal cord, medulla, and the colored part of the eye is iris. Okay? Now, true or false? The ears enable us to keep our balance? Absolutely true. Our nervous system is made up of nerves only? Yes, it is made up of nerve cells. Okay? Cerebellum is the largest part of the brain? Wrong. It is the cerebrum. We get information about the environment through sense organs? Absolutely true. Reflex actions are controlled by brain? No, by the spinal cord. False. Okay? The senses of smell and taste are interlinked? Yes, they are. Okay? Now, match the column. Vertebral column. It protects the spinal cord. Skull protects the brain. Ears balance the body and skin is used to feel. Okay? Name the following. Actions which are automatically and do not need thinking, they are the reflex actions. The part of the brain that does the thinking is the cerebrum. The nerve through which messages from ears travel to the brain, they are the sensory nerves. Okay? The organ which is the main control center of the body is the brain. Okay? Now, if to choose the odd one out, eyes, nose, ears and hand. Hand. The rest are the sense organs. Brain, spinal cord, nerves or arteries, it is the arteries which is the odd one here. Okay? Rest all other parts of the nervous system. Sweet, salt, sour or action, action is the odd one here. Okay? The rest are the tastes. Brain, sensory nerves, motor nerves and mixed nerves, which is the odd one here, it is the brain. Iris, nose, pupil or retina, which is the odd one, nose. The rest are the part of the eye. Okay? Label the diagrams. Now, you have to label the diagram of the eye. Okay? Now, short answer questions. What does the nervous system consist of? What are the different parts that it consists of is what you have to mention here. What could happen if we clean our ears with pointed objects? How they will damage the eardrum. Okay? Explain it. Now, name all the sense organs and give one function of each. You know the 5 sense organs and one function each of them does. Which action is controlled by the spinal cord? Okay? Which is the action that the spinal cord controls. How do eyelashes and eyelids help the eye? How do they protect your eye? Okay? Is what you have to mention here. Now, long answer questions. Explain the parts of brain. Also, state the function of each part. So, each, the different parts of the brain, 3 parts, okay, and the functions that each of them do is what you have to write, okay. How many types of nerves are there? And you have to describe the function of each one, okay. List the ways by which we can take care of our eyes. How can you protect your eyes? How can you take care of your eyes is what you have to mention here. What are the functions performed by the skin? The functions of the skin. It protects our internal organs. What else does it do? Brain is a delicate organ. How nature has protected it. How brain is protected from jerks and injuries. So, what is the structure of the brain? How is it protected is what you have to mention here. Now, critical thinking skills. We do not feel pain when we cut our nails. Why? Because nails do not have nerves. They are the toughest portion of our body. Okay. So, what will happen if you step on a sharp object? You will immediately, take your feet away, or so that you don't get hurt. Okay. So, that's a reflex action that will take place. Okay. Now, case-based study. Brain is the main controlling center of the body. It is protected by the skull. It contains millions of tiny cells and weighs around 1.4 kg. To prevent it from jerks and injuries, the gap between the skull and the brain and the inner side of the brain is filled with clear fluid. Cerebrum is the largest part of the brain. Its surfaces has many folds and grooves. It is the main thinking part. It stores information. It receives sensory impulses from sense organs like ears, tongues, etc. It controls voluntary muscles, okay, or movements. It is the center of intelligence. We can think, learn, feel, hunger, remember, recall because of cerebrum. Below the cerebrum is the cerebellum. It coordinates the movement, maintaining posture and balance of the body. If the cerebellum does not work properly or function properly, our body movements will become jerky. Okay. The medulla is shaped like a stem. It connects the brain to the spinal cord. It controls all involuntary movements of our body like breathing, heartbeat, blood pressure, formation of saliva on seeing the favorite food item. It is active even when the person is sleeping. The spinal cord extends from the base of the brain to the lower end of the backbone. It is protected by 33 vertebrae of vertebral column. It connects the rest of the body to the brain through nerves. All the reflex actions are controlled by the spinal cord. Okay. Now, the weight of the brain is approximately 1.4 kg. Center of intelligence is cerebrum. Spinal cord has how many bones? 33 bones. Okay. And the function of cerebellum is what you have to explain in detail here. Okay. Write it in detail. Now, life skills. Our body and brain, they develop with age. Have you seen the children whose brain is underdeveloped? Okay. Have you seen any child whose brain is underdeveloped? Okay. How will you treat that children? How will you behave with that child? Okay. Do they need your sympathy or apathy? Okay. Do they need sympathy or empathy? Okay. Do they want you to feel pity for them, or they want you to help them and consider them as one, is what you have to tell. Okay. And how can you help them? Okay. Now, let's do something new. You have to make a model of the brain using clay or plaster of Paris. Okay. The teacher will play an audio for you. Listen to that carefully. Then the teacher will ask you questions. The number of questions you can answer will tell about your brain's capability to retain the things. So, this is going to be a memory game. So, teacher will ask you questions, and how many answers will tell you how much retaining capacity you have. Okay. Now you have to explore. Our body is made up of cells. When we have an injury, the cells get repaired and healing process occurs. But do you know that our brain cells multiply up till certain age? After that degeneration of cells occur. Find out the names of brain related diseases and mention the symptoms of these diseases. Okay. Do you have any cure for them? Like diseases like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's disease. So find more information about all these different types of diseases. But before you explore, you know what you have to do. I'm sure you will reread the chapter and finish all the exercises and activities before getting on to this exploring and finding more information. But do find the information. All right, children, get going.